So I'm standing here with Mr. Backdoor himself, xPeke. So I'm very sorry for that, actually.
Don't worry. I'm used to it by now. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like people in Europe, especially, still you're haunted almost by this one play in Katowice. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I mean, it's amazing. Like, still a lot of people remind me over and over and over. But in the end, it's fun. Like, people use it as a fun thingy. They remind me for that, and I don't know. I like it. I don't know. I'm really glad for it.
Okay, so you're now here at Fantasy Basel. You almost were able to go to MSI, which is currently live right now. So, but G2 at the moment is not doing very well. My theory is kind of like that's because they are not so. They don't have much international experience. So for you, you already have been a long time in the scene and had a lot of experience against international players. Any advice for the G2 players right now?
Well, obviously right now I feel like it's a bit late. They already won 5. They have 5 more games, and I think it's going to be really hard for them to make it through. And the only advice is to learn from this, right? Like you said, they had no experience, but the problem was not really the experience. It was the way they came into this tournament. I think they didn't really prepare enough from what they said, at least. I don't know what is true, what is not. And yeah, they should just not get down from it. Realize their mistakes, just say what went wrong, and learn from it for the future, because they seem to be a really good team, and for this tournament, they were exactly the opposite. Everything was failing for them. So.
Yeah. They were kind of like the last step for you to actually make the hop from 4th place to actually winning the split. Yeah. Almost. How do you felt about that? You kind of stepped up, really, like always. I would always say it's kind of like back in the days when Fnatic always, when you were back in Fnatic, it was kind of like always very important tournaments. You turn up, and also in summer split. Why is that? It kind of has this repeating rhythm all over again.
Well, every person is different, but I think in the end everyone is like, try a lot more when you are playing for something important. At least for me and for most of the people I know, it's like this. Like, obviously you might want to win everything all the time, always, but at some point you realize that's just impossible to keep it up, right? And the thing is, when it goes like that and people is maybe saying we were not playing good or during the season, or we were playing bad, that kind of motivated me even more to those games that really matter, try harder. And that's how it always was. Also, it's easier when you're working for a goal, right? Like when you have playoffs, and you know if you win a game, you go from quarterfinals to semifinals. That's really motivating. As during the league, it is still nice because winning games make you feel good, but in the end, when you do it once and you win, when you do it again and you win, and you win and you win, and you realize that in the end you have a bunch of points, but that it doesn't matter. If you go to playoffs and lose the first round, everything you did was like, for nothing, pretty much. It's kind of, on a way, what makes me feel that I have to try 200% when it really matters every game, and that's how I have been doing it always. And it's not, obviously the best will be to try in a better way slowly until you peak at playoffs, but this works for us so far. So
okay, very fine. So in this season you had kind of like this switcheroo all the time with Power of Evil in the mid lane, and more Power of Evil stepped up and played over and over, and now in the finals I think you played 3 times or three times only. Do you think this kind of a little bit reminds me of the Faker and Easyhoon situation last year at SKT? It's kind of like 2 very good mid laners, one the old star and the other new super coming, and they used it kind of tactically. Yeah. Do you want to do that as well?
Yeah, that's the plan, right? And the good thing about this is that first off, we have each other to motivate each other, right? Either if it's for rivalry or also because we teach each other. Every time we practice, the other one is watching and learning from this guy, and then we ask questions to each other after the games, and that helps us improve in a lot of things that maybe we don't realize at first. Then at the same time, both of us are like wanting to play, right? We want to be the best we can be. So when you have direct competition on your team in some way, it makes you step it up. Just because you actually, even though you are not sad if you don't play, because what you want is the team to win, you actually want to be the reason why the team is winning. So it kind of makes you improve, and I think it's just nicer for the Power of Evil and me right now to have this, because also, like I said, we're no rival. We're really helping each other a lot, and so far it was really good for us individually to improve a lot. And I think if we start taking more advantage of it, like you say, not only use it to help each other improve more, but also strategically take any advantage of it, I think we could be way, way stronger than we are right now.
So you're looking forward to win Summer Split?
Mm-hmm. That's the goal. Obviously, it's far from now, right? You don't know what will happen in 1 week. You don't know what will happen in 10 weeks. But the goal is always to see what happens and to win the split, obviously.
I'm aware that maybe you cannot answer this. Are there going to be any roster changes now for Summer Split in Origin?
Well, there have been all these rumors, right, about the bot lane and G2 and all this stuff. Right now, I cannot really say anything because things are really, even though they are rumor and people think everything is already settled behind the scenes, there is really nothing settled because G2 is at MSI right now. We are on holidays kind of, so nothing has been really talked through, and as much as people think something's going to happen, no one is sure yet, not even the players, not even us, not even anyone.
Then the last question maybe, there is going to be a lot of mid-season and invitational changes, especially with the mid laners and the Dragon, of course. Did you have time already to dip into that, or do you have any ideas how that's going to change the game?
I have read the patch and I have seen all the changes, but obviously it's hard to really imagine them only from reading. And yeah, the thing is, the game is going to change a lot because the dragons are going to need changes for sure sooner or later, and
because they're OP. Or?
Yeah, I think so. It depends on I only read it, right? So the numbers seem really strong. Then you have to see them in game to feel them, but the numbers seem strong, and I think they have to change many things from them. At least adapt the numbers, even though maybe remove some things or add some things. And for the mages, it's the same thing. There are so many changes on all of them that you can't really tell just from reading what's good and what's bad. And I have already been reading like some champions that feel really, really, really strong, some feel really weak. And for me, I think I would need like 2 weeks to 1 month to actually figure out how the game is gonna go after that. But hopefully, it's good for us.
Do you think Mazar is gonna be played exclusively in jungle now?
From what I have seen, yeah. From what I have seen, yeah. I don't think exclusively. Maybe some worlds, but in jungle he seems really strong. So I think he will be changed soon because I don't think Riot really likes to have him on the jungle.
Okay, last question, or actually 2 questions for MSI again. First thing is who is going to win, you think? Second thing is, who are the 4 spots are going to be taken for the number 1 pool for Worlds then this year?
Well, the way it looks right now, it might change. You never know because they just did half the group stage. They have the other half. But the way it looks right now, China seems like a contender to win the whole thing. If they don't win, it will be mostly because SKT might put everything together, because right now they are good, but they are making a lot of mistakes as a team, with China, isn't it? And yeah, I think it's going to be between those 2, but I will still say China if I had to say someone. And for the teams that are going to pick it up right now, it seems like, yeah, it's going to be Korea, China, America, and Taiwan. Those are the 4 ones that seem to take the spot. You never know, like I said, if somehow Europe was to win in the next games 4 or 5 games, they could actually make it far even, but it doesn't look, the future doesn't look too bright for us for the next days.
Unfortunately, yeah. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much, and
thanks.
Let's see
Thank you very much.
how Arjun will do.
Hopefully really good.
Okay, thank you.
Everything changes.